Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today, I'm going to be doing my to pull or not to pull review on the new Cloud and Nanaki banner that is probably going to be impactful in this coming Guild War. By the way, I just want to make a note here, guys, that I missed this in my patch updates video, but apparently we have 6 stages now in the game, guys. 6 freaking stages. This is absolutely crazy. So, I'll probably make a video touching on this later. I just wanted to put this in there since I think I didn't see it before. But that's crazy. That's a game changer. I'm not sure how I feel about that as of right now. First thought is nightmare. Especially since I coordinate attacks in the guild. And I just... hopefully it's not overbearing, but anyways, guys, that being said, let's go and check out the new Cloud and Red 13 banner. So this is it right here, guys, and honestly, you know, we only had one non-limited Cloud banner all of last year. So the fact that, you know, we've gotten 2 within like 2 months, really, because we got the holiday blade for Christmas and now it's like, you know, roughly the same time in February. So yeah, about 2 months, right? So that part is cool. However, I think that most people that are going to be pulling on this banner are going to be pulling on it solely to be stronger in Guild War. Now, you know, if that's your prerogative and Guild War is everything in the game to you, then of course, you know, have fun. Pull on the banner, enjoy the war. But I think, you know, for a lot of players out there with the 1.5 year anniversary right around the corner, this is kind of a tougher banner to evaluate, you know, to see whether we should pull on it or not. And I was really hoping for some mid to high at base 5-star, you know, levels on these weapons. And it's a bit unfortunate what turned out, because I think that this banner is not as approachable for anyone that just wanted to get like 1 copy of the weapon or 1 copy of Red's weapon. But I'm going to explain all that here in a second, guys. So let's just go in and I'm going to go through everything one at a time. First things first, let's take a look at the costume. Now, there's a lot of things I like about this costume. I really like the sword. I think the sword is super sick. I love the jacket. I love the armor. I mean, it does kind of go with Cloud's vibe that he's got the armor going all the way up the left arm. And I like the vanguards there, or the vambraces, I guess you would call them. They're pretty cool. They're not crazy in depth. His gloves, I guess, are okay. I'm not sure what's going on with his right hand here, especially since, like, that's the hand that's gripping the hilt. But that's not the hand that actually has the protection for his palm. So it doesn't really make sense right here. I feel like it could have been the other way around. I get it that it's a two-handed sword, but the right hand is dominant, you know, when you're using a claymore type weapon. So other than that, I like the color variations. I like the leather coat. I don't like the fisherman's breeches underneath, where it looks like he's kind of getting ready to like waddle through a swamp. I feel like I wish they would have just kept the black jeans underneath. I feel like that would have looked super sick. I don't think he needed all of this right here going on. Kind of seems a little bulky in my opinion. Especially like from the side right here, it looks super bulky, right? It doesn't seem to like fit his frame very well, especially since Cloud is like fairly petite for a person. Let's be real. Like Cloud is probably like what, 5'8", something like that. Probably weighs like about $140. So yeah, I feel like it doesn't quite match. But other than that, I think the costume looks generally pretty okay. I'd give it like an 8.5 out of 10, right? Cloud makes most things look good. Alright, so let's take a look at the Mystic Coat here itself. Alright, so we have the Physical and Magic Ward. So Physical and Magic Defense plus 15%. Always a super good R ability, but I feel like this doesn't always come on the costumes that I want this R ability to come on, right? I feel like this is kind of a bonus to kind of lure people into other things, right? Because the second R ability here is buff debuff extension plus. It's technically a buff debuff Arcanum costume. However, Cloud has been a mainline DPS in this game since the start of the game. Now, recently, with Tifa, you know, and Yuffie, and Vincent, I would even go so far as to say, they've really stepped it up, and Cloud has kind of fallen behind. The only new gen weapon that he has is the Holiday Blade, but he hasn't really gotten much else, right? Because he's been extremely limited to limited banners, which is super unfortunate because I feel like, you know, Cloud is a staple for Final Fantasy VII, and he should get a bunch of really cool stuff. Now, buff debuff duration is a good R ability, but typically for a support or a breaker. Now, Cloud is likely not going to get his ultimate weapon until the 2-year anniversary, right? And with how impactful ultimate weapons are in the game right now, it makes it very hard for Cloud to compete. Even if he was getting, you know, next gen weapons, he's still using his old ultimate weapon, which compared to Tifa's, which gives physical magic attack up plus a triple cast haste, he just can't compete, right? So it seems like they might be taking Cloud down a road of being a supporter in the next, you know, 7 months, which for me just sucks. I really want to use Cloud as my main DPS in the game. I mean, this is one of the main reasons I'm here playing Ever Crisis, right? I don't want to be running Cloud as a supporter slash breaker. So, you know, and this weapon will be good, but he doesn't really have that many things in his kit. He has the hard edge for physical defense break, right? But most of the time, you're going to be running an Arcanum on costume, or you're going to be running an Arcanum on Cloud, or you're going to be running his anniversary costume, right, to do damage. So I just find it strange that they give him this. As of right now, I see very little opportunity for it in this current Guild War, right? Cloud is going to be a main DPS. It's going to be Magic Wind, and Cloud is going to be wearing his double wind Arcanum costume. So it's not like he would be even using this costume in this war. It does fit the sword well. So let's go over and take a look at the sword. Here we have the Mystic Sword. We'll look at it at OB1, level 120. So magic attack 387. Command ability 3 ATB cost, so that's good. The ability Force Stream is a cool name. The sword itself looks super sick in my opinion. At OB1, this will deal 300% magic non-elemental damage with a crit rate of 10%, and it will reduce magic attack by mid. And when HP is 70% or more, physical attack is decreased. I really wish that this was 50% or more, because, you know, for a breaker, this percentage can be tricky to remember when you are in tough battles. You know, when you got a lot going on, especially if his HP is around 65% and it's hard to tell what it's at. I think 50% would have been better, and more accessible and easier to play all around. But the fact that he does have a magic attack, physical attack breaking weapon is pretty cool. He does have a physical breaking weapon, but I believe it maxes out at mid, right? And let's take a look at the R abilities here. So the R abilities are fantastic, guys. I'm pretty sure they're the same as the Ivy Collar. So at OB10, we're going to have a 62 over 39, which is fantastic. Super, super, super good. We have support abilities, physical attack boost, magic attack boost, and circle sigil boost as well. All right. And let's go back to base 5-star right here. So even at OB1, we're getting 42 attack and 15 ability potency. So definitely pretty solid even at base. However, you are limited on the breaks right here, right? So magic attack is going to cap at mid. Physical attack break is going to cap at mid. Unfortunately, this weapon does not go mid to high at base 5-star, which is unfortunate because I think it locks out a lot of people from pulling, because I don't think many people, other than like extremely competitive Guild War players, are going to be pulling this sword to OB6 right before the anniversary. I think it would have been like more economically sound for Applebot to actually had this be mid to high I think more people would have pulled this banner if they would have done that, just to go for a copy of the sword, you know? But it is what it is, guys, and, you know, this is definitely a weapon that is going to be on everyone's wish list, in my opinion. This is going to be a fantastic weapon. I'm going to show you guys why. All right, so we take this to OB6, magic attack 609. The damage will go to 360%, and the magic attack physical attack break is going to go to high on the first cast. Now, I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that there is no other weapon in the game that breaks to high on the first cast, right? So let's go take a look at some other weapons. All right, so we're going to filter by character. We're going to filter by Sephiroth, Vincent, and Sid, who are the other characters that have weapons that do that. So we have the Kuja's Spirit Blade, mid to high, but the physical attack is 50% or more, and I've still had trouble with the Kuja's Spirit Blade before because of this for the physical attack break. I believe it was in the EX2 Bahamut fight. All right, then we have Vincent's weapon right here, the S1976, which is also mid to high, but this one does not have a HP threshold on it, so in some ways it's better, right? However, it's still not first cast high. And then we have Sid's pole axe, which if we take to OB6 is also mid to high. So it is officially, guys, as far as I know, I could be wrong, I've been wrong many times, but I'm pretty sure that this is the first weapon in the game that goes high break physical magic attack. Now, like I said, I wish that this was 50%, not 70%, or even no HP threshold would be great. I've never been a fan of the HP thresholds, guys. I've never been a fan of them. I think that there's a better way to do it, and hopefully Applebot will figure that out soon enough. Now, so obviously this is a weapon you're going to want to take to OB6, and even at OB6 you're getting 54 attack, 27 ability potency. At OB10 it's only going up 12 points on the ability potency and 8 points on the attack, so even at OB6 it would still be a great weapon, even in the sub weapons, but you're really trying to unlock these that high tier break, right? Because it's not giving you the mid to high right here, so it's really not getting the maximum potency of the sword until you get it to OB6. But overall, guys, I'd say that this is a fantastic weapon. I like everything about it. I'm a little bit... I never really understand why they put physical attack on a magic weapon. Someone said something in a comment a little while ago saying might be a reason for it, but I feel like it just makes more sense that it's magic attack. 664 is not super high for a weapon at OB10. It's about 33 points less than the highest I've seen, but it's still good. So overall, guys, super good weapon. If this wasn't a 70% threshold, if this had no threshold, I would say this is an 11 out of 10 sword, right? If this was a 50% threshold, I would say that it's a 10 out of 10 sword, 9.5, 9.7, 9.8. With the 70%, I'd still give it a solid 9 out of 10. I think it's a great weapon. It just makes it harder to use, right? It's not as comfortable to use. You have to constantly keep your mind on it, and in harder fights, you have to keep your mind on a lot of different things, and that just can be tricky. But overall, super good weapon, guys. All right, now let's take a look at the other weapon on the banner right here, which is going to be Red 13's weapon. All right, so if we jump over to here, we'll take a look at Red 13's weapon right here. So here we have Brilliant Caller, level 120, OB1 right here, magic attack 330. The command ability is Brilliant Salt, which I still don't know what that means. ATB 4. This increases magic attack, and when HP is 70% or more, wind damage to all allies, right? So this is all allies magic attack up and all allies wind potency up. So, you know, Mac got something like this for fire in the last war. It seems like this is becoming a thing where every time they have a guild war, they're going to drop a double banner where they give us some AoE elemental potency weapons, something like that. Now, overall, I think that for the war, my original thought was that this is probably the better one to go for, right? However, when you look at it right here, you look that its first cast on magic attack up is low, max potency mid, right? And then the wind damage increase is also low, all allies, max potency mid. And I've never been a fan of low potency, guys. I've literally never been a fan. Or if there's going to be, it needs to go low to high, which I believe it does. Yeah, so when you take it to OB6, it goes mid to high, and wind damage is increased mid to high, right? So this weapon is really going to come into itself once you get this to OB6, but I honestly can't really recommend going for this, guys, right before the 1.5 year anniversary unless you are extremely competitive in Guild War and you're really just trying to get like max damage on as much of these stages as you can, right? But even at OB6, I mean, you're not getting max on the R abilities. I think you should be fine, but you know, I think for most players in the game, like for Matt's weapon, right, which was the Luminary Sword, I believe, which had basically was exactly the same of this carbon copy, magic attack up, low to mid, mid to high, I believe, and then mid to high right here on the at OB6. But you know, how often have we used that sword since it came out, right? And that was for Guild War 6, something like that. And so for this war, I think that this weapon will be very powerful for this war, right? Um, more impactful than Cloud's new sword, since he does have another weapon that can do physical attack break, because we do have D-Braves, so we can potentially work our way around not having Cloud's sword, but we don't really have anything that increases wind damage for the team. I think this is one of a kind weapon, right? So, but other than that, after this war, we could go 6 months without Red 13 using this. There are a lot of ways to get magic attack up right now in the game, and so it's not always necessarily needed, guys. Plus, this will be a slow wish list item. It is very, very good. And so if you guys are looking to be competitive in this war, I do recommend probably going for Red 13s over Clouds. Although for me, if I was going to go for it, I'd probably go for Clouds just because I love Cloud. And I don't know how I feel about having a single base 5-star version of Red 13's weapon. So if we go back and we take a look at this right here, let's take a look at the R abilities right here. So base or OB1 right here is HP 32 over healing 15, so definitely really good for him. We have a double magic attack boost, which makes sense, and then we have an all cure spells right here. I wish that this also had a single cure spell slot. For the 20% healing boost, I feel like that would make it very, very, very good. But the all cure spells is still very good. And I think that this will be a good weapon over time. I think that this will not see as much use as maybe Cloud's sword, because Cloud's will be effective in a myriad of different battles, whereas this one is going to be completely limited to wind battles, and wind battles essentially where you're trying to power up magic, right? So it's extremely niche, guys. It's extremely niche. Once this guild war is done, this weapon is going to get shelved, and it's probably not going to be seen for a while, right? I'm curious when we will see the Luminary Sword again. I haven't even put that weapon on my wish list, to be honest. Now, if we look at it at OB6, like I said, it goes mid to high on the magic attack, 70% or more, mid to high on the wind damage. All right, the R abilities go HP to 40, healing to 27. And then if we take the weapon to OB10, we're going to have 46 on the HP. So 46 over 39 HP healing. Not bad, definitely good R abilities. So yeah, guys, honestly, I think this banner is pretty simple. I think that this banner is an easy skip for most players in the game. If you're psyched on the anniversary and you know you don't have that much crystal saved up, if you're not like over 100k crystals and not completely obsessed with Guild War, this banner is a super easy skip. I don't really see Cloud using a buff debuff duration costume unless it's like I said, because they're going to wait so long to give him an ultimate weapon, which I could be wrong. The ultimate weapon could come sooner. My guess is the 2-year anniversary, right? And we can already see, thank you to our resident data miner, we can already see a few months out and Cloud is not on the horizon for his ultimate weapon. So my guess is the 2-year anniversary, which puts him 7 months out. So there's a chance that this buff debuff duration costume, you know, sees a lot more life from Cloud, because no matter what they give him, he's not going to be able to compete with Tifa, because he doesn't have an ultimate weapon that's even comparable to hers, right? And so, especially Yuffie also as well. And then Vincent's also getting his ultimate weapon sometime in the next couple months, if what we hear is true. So, there's an argument to be said that this buff debuff duration for Cloud might be the only direction they can take him in the next 7 months, which in my opinion would be an absolute bummer, guys. Super bummer. So, you know, this sword right here is an absolute wishlist item for me. I'll probably wait for the Guild War to start. I might pull until like the first guaranteed weapon slot right here just to get a copy of it, or maybe just to get a copy of Red 13's weapon. Once I see how other people that already pulled are kind of, you know, getting on with it. But yeah, guys, I would say for the vast majority of players in the game, I think this is an easy skip banner. Definitely something to be wishlisted for Red 13. I think if you can spare a slot, you could wishlist it in the future. But like I said, if you guys are trying to be competitive for the Guild War, you know, I think Red 13 is the character to shoot for, right? And hopefully you guys get good luck, but you'll probably have to pull through the second page, and even then, that's not guaranteed OB6, and it is right before the 1.5 year anniversary. So there's a reason they're dropping Cloud right before the 1.5 year anniversary, guys, because he's the most hyped character in the game, I would say. I would say that probably even more so than Tifa, if not equivalent to Tifa. But I think that Cloud gets less banners than Tifa by far, and so I would say that he is probably the most hyped character in the game. So yeah, guys, that's my basic opinion on this, to pull or not to pull. I'm curious what you guys are going to do. If you did pull, I'm curious what kind of pulls you guys got. I wish you guys the best of luck on your pulls if you haven't done them yet. And let me know if you think that I should pull to get one guaranteed weapon for Cloud, and maybe there's a argument for the buff duration Arcanum costume, although for me, with 55,000 crystals and the 1.5 year anniversary right around the corner, I feel like stepping back and wishlisting this item in the future is probably the way to go. So that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.